Hello people, what is going on? Challenger EX coming at you here with a little bit of a news update video regarding Toughest Touch. Uncommon just posted an end of year agenda regarding our final end of the year update, which tends to be like our big update. When it comes to Toughest Touch, we usually get like one big content update, and it's usually this one. And unfortunately, we do have a little bit of bad news. Might be good news to some of you. Might be okay news, but let's go ahead and go through what they posted here. The end of 2023 is fast approaching. With many surprises in store, although a few tweaks have been made to the original schedule, we'd like to offer a brief update on the latest development. After the September update group attack, and in relation to what was announced in the January 2023 missive, this is supposed to be the end of year update, which includes the Astrub Revamp, the big update for PvP, and the Seller class revamp. We won't beat around the bush. Completing these three major projects in a single update is not feasible for various reasons. The initial plan was to release Astrub Revamp earlier in 2023, but we unfortunately fallen behind. This is mainly due to the major issue with the tool we use to work on maps in the game, as well as properly placed NPCs, paradox houses, and many other things. Needless to say, for revamping the sun of this size, this was not ideal. And this is kind of interesting to say this. And I might go into kind of speculation mode here, a little bit of conspiracy theory. I have an inkling that they pushed this update because of Waven. Waven official release date should fall around the same time this update hits. Right now, Revamp it's slated to hit at the end of 2023, which usually means November, December. I think because of the official release of this game, and with the official release of Waven comes the mobile version as well. I think they pushed this because of Waven. I don't think it's because of the tools. And again, I'm just speculating here. And the reason I say this is because like they literally revamped Kanya, they revamped Pandala. Those are huge areas. Those are areas bigger than Astrub, right? And really, they don't have tools to like place art assets. Like, what's the limitation here that they're having such a hard time? Because they're not creating new art. They're not creating new art. We know for Toughest Touch, unfortunately, they don't create anything new here. They recycle Toughest PC assets, which there's nothing wrong with it. I do wish we had like unique stuff. But unfortunately, you know, they take PC stuff and put it into here. They are making an effort to make things different. As you can see here, here is the map of what like the bank map would look like. And I do have the game PC stuff is here running. So let's go here to the map. And here's what the bank map looks like. So as you can tell already, you know, the building's the same. You know, one has a red roof, one has Toughest Touch has a blue roof, but the map's different. The map layout's a little bit different, which I appreciate. That, you know, they're trying to make a unique spin at least here on Toughest Touch, but it's the same building. Even if we go here to I think it was this map over here. So what's funny here is like a lot of these pieces here, the way they built like the structure and the buildings of the environmental buildings. This is all modular assets, guys. This is all the same stuff. It's made modular, so you could plug a piece here and make it look different. And I'll give an example of that here. Let's see where the AC is. Okay, over here on this map. So you see this kind of like this pointy building here, right? Actually, let me zoom in here. Yeah, so it even has like the two notches here. So if we look at, not this map here. If we look at this building, it's the same building, right? Even it has like the two little cuts right there. It just has different facades that they overlay and kind of like clump together just to make it look different. So it's not like they're getting behind on art assets. Even these like little, I like to call these like Super Mario World kind of hills. Those are in here too. Oh, where are you? They're right here. See? So it's not like they're getting behind because like, oh shoot, they gotta redraw this whole thing. No, they're not doing that. Obviously, they have a system, right? They have a map maker, and they're like, how, like really, like what's so different about Astrub that's giving them trouble? Where like Pandala, they revamped like like the whole Pandala area without any issue because of the tools. So I'm calling BS on this. I think it's because of Waven. They pushed this. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Again, the only reason why I'm looking forward to Astrub Revamp is to have kind of like maybe like the inklings of the beginnings of like questable Dofus. If we jump back into here, our PC Dofus game here, if we look at our quests here, I'm not used to the UI here. Quests, achievements, Dofus. So Astrub and PC Dofus is home. Like there's this whole like very like coherent storyline when it comes to like the silver. Like you get the silver Dofus from doing like the whole Astrub quest line, and it's very cohesive. There's this whole like it's like the legend of this hero and this dragon, and the little baby dragon doesn't remember much, and it's really cool. I hope they implement that, and I hope they really polish Astrub up, and I hope it really leads to like making questable Dofus, because this is interesting. Like right, like you want people to connect with the game, you connect through the story, you connect with the characters, connect with the world, right? But Astrub is pretty much a jumping point to gathering the primordial Dofus. Starts off with the Emerald Dofus. You get sidetracked, you get the Kawi Dofus, and then it leads into the Crimson Dofus. Right? It's this whole like very like hierarchical, step by step kind of quest storyline, stuff like that. Super cool, and that's the only reason why I'm looking like. Look at that! You get all the 6 Dofus. There's an achievement for that, an ornament. So I'm hoping they take the time to really think out Astrub and how they want to approach it with its quest lines, its relation to Dofus, and especially its relation to guiding new players and teaching them about the world, getting them invested into the game and stuff like that. So I'm hoping to use that extra time to get Astrub right. So I'm not angry about that, or mad for the matter, because well, let's keep going here. Did we go over this? Yes, we did. We therefore made the decision to push back Astrub Revamp to 2024 and keep Settlers and PvP in the late 2023 update. So Astrub Revamp, we probably won't see it till March, around March. If we look at our updates here, our first update of the year tends to be around, let's see, 22. This one was in April. This is Tactical Vision was in March, so I would expect to see it around March. Let's see, do we have any more? Let's see all patches here. So let's look at 2022. January. What was this update? The Plantala Roots of Evil. No, so let's look at January patches. This is a patch. Okay, so after the Plantala update, looks like was April. What's the next? April. So yeah, we probably will see it. So they got a good like 2 or 3 months to keep working on Astrub. This will be at the cost of accommodating new players in the game, but we believe it's just as important to consider our current and veteran players, whose expectations are much higher for sellers and PvP than for Astrub. And this, I don't know. I don't know about this. I'm excited for the sellers getting Revamp. I think sellers are like that. They're like this weird, kind of like very interesting class because they're like time mages, they're like wizards, they're like elemental spell slingers. I hope they do really cool, something really cool with sellers. You know, for me personally, it's been a hit what they did with Annie. I thought it was really cool. The Sackers, I thought it was really cool. Kra, it was. I'm not too attached to Kra, but I still think it was cool what they did with them. So far, on my book, they've done a great job when it comes to revamping these classes. So I have high hopes for the seller that they're gonna make something fun, interesting, and cool. PvP, this is something I know Ankama wants to make this. I know they wish they had this a very crazy competitive scene when it comes to Dofus. I know they wish they had this whole esport thing going on with Dofus, but it just doesn't catch on. It hasn't catch on for a very long time. And anybody remember Dofus Arena? So Dofus Arena was a game specifically made for PvP. All you did was fight against other people. Right? This game only lasted a couple of years. Why? People are not that interested in fighting other people when it comes to Dofus. When it comes to international English side of Dofus. They made a game specifically for PvP and it didn't catch on. It didn't catch on. And again, I know that some people are hardcore about PvP. That's their lifeline when it comes to Dofus. They eat and breathe and sleep PvP. But that is the minority of the player base. That is a small section of the player base. I've seen, and they talk about between this big update, Abyss Joust number 3, Al Howin, Christmas, and a few other surprises. The end of this year will be quite eventful, so you won't be bored easily. So this Abyss Joust thing, which is like their big competitive kind of tournament, I've seen the French stream. It only pulls around 3 digits. It's like around 100-ish people watching this. It's even on the French side, on the French side of things. This doesn't pull a whole lot of streamers. This isn't like freaking what's a game? This isn't like a freaking even like a competitive gift like was that League of Legends, right? This isn't pulling like tens of thousands of people to come watch this. No, it's a handful of people. And it's only the same people who are interested in PvP. They're not pulling casual people. Casual people are now tuning in to watch PvP, which is like the biggest issue when it comes to PvP. PvP has a big problem where PvP is just reserved to hardcore endgame people. And if you guys, because I have an interest, in game ecosystem, game design, and all that stuff. The amount of people who reach endgame content in any game, most people don't reach the end of the game, and that is the sad truth. The majority of people, let's go into here, so we have our achievements. Most people are not gonna go through this, right? Even getting the silver Dofus here, right? This is going to be a small fraction of the people who play the game are even going to get this beginning starter Dofus. If you guys, this is really interesting. If you guys don't believe me, go into Steam, check out the global achievements sections, right? And this is going to show you all the achievement people have gotten. Most people get the beat the game percentage achievement. That's like less than 5% of the people who actually go through the whole game and beat the game and get you beat the game achievement. This goes to show that most people don't reach endgame. Most people don't. And the problem with PvP is that the barrier to entry for PvP is literally endgame. And the issue Dofus it's always had with PvP and Dofus, it's never been jump in and play. Right? You can't just jump into Dofus. Oh, you know what? I just want to fight other people. You can't do that. PvP's foundation is built on PVM content. If you don't have a healthy PVM content, if you don't have people interested in PVM, your PvP is going to suffer. Because again, PvP is built on PVM. Right? And I hope they learned something from Waven. And I hope they're taking notes from Waven, because in Waven, PvP is totally detached from PVM content. Waven literally has jump in and play PvP, right? You could boot up the game, go through the tutorial section, and you know what? I don't want to play, I just want to fight other people. I just want to fight other people. You could do that in Waven. And Dofus, right? The issue with Dofus and Dofus Touch, you literally have to go through all this, do the quests, level up your character, grind, get your gear, get good gear, competitive gear, right? You have to put in so much hours, so much effort to even feel like you're ready for PvP, right? And this is why PvP has such a small player base, such a small interest, because the barrier to entry to PvP is not only high, it's not only crazy high. You can't just jump in and play PvP, but it's super intimidating too, right? Because PvP is for those hardcore people, and as long as PvP is for those hardcore people, PvP and Dofus, it's not going to be this big thing. I'm sorry to say, but PvP and Dofus, it's very niche. It's just not that big. It's not that huge, and I don't get why they put so much effort in PvP. PvP, fundamentally, it will never be balanced as long as it's tied to PVM. And that's the truth of the matter. Why? Because your character... So PvP is fundamentally broken. And now your character, right? Your Dofus character. Your character has to be capable on taking on level 200 dungeons, right? Where bosses have 10k HP, they're hitting you for thousands of damage, but not be OP enough to take on a character that's on your level, right? Your character has to be strong enough, its power level has to be strong enough to hold its own against like Nilessa, Count, Herborg, right? Those high-end bosses, right? Your character has to be comparable, capable on taking on those very difficult bosses, but not be too OP to take on something that's 4k that has 4k HP. As long as you're trying to battle and balance those two out, you'll never find a middle ground, right? Because either your character is too strong for another player, or your character is too weak against PVM. And that is the fundamental issue with balancing PvP. You can't have both. You can't have a balanced PVM at the same time have a balanced PvP. Unless you raise the power levels, right? Unless fighting an Nilessa it's like fighting another player, right? Am I crazy with this? But this is again, because I have a very high interest in like game design and balance, and like I mentioned, like the whole like game ecosystem stuff like that. Like this is the stuff I think about. But the truth, that is the truth of the matter. It's like PvP is never gonna be balanced, and as long as you don't have casual people interested in PvP, you're not gonna have casual viewers for watching your PvP stuff either. This isn't like let's say Smash Brothers, right? Anybody could play Smash Brothers, right? Anybody could jump in there, play, smash buttons, have fun, right? And Smash Brothers, it's and a spectacle too, right? It's fun to watch. It's interesting to watch. And unless you're not unless you're in tune with PvP, you're not interested in what's happening in the PvP world. I know I'm not, and I came from my background. I came from the fighting game community. I used to be really into playing Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, fighting games, right? I was never, my skill level was never at a competitive level, but I was able to enjoy it casually. I was able to enjoy Evo casually, just as a viewer. I would watch tournaments just because it was hype. And unfortunately, Dofus is not a very fun game to watch. It's very bland and boring, and that's my unfortunate take on PvP. I don't blame them for making an effort, but unless they address those issues, where how can we make PvP more appealing to a mass audience? PvP is going to continue to be this niche thing that's only for the elite players, and you can't grow a scene like that. And the whole thing is like, oh, matchmaking. The whole matchmaking Coliseum matchmaking is broken. No, it's not broken. It works. It works. The system matchmaking falls apart when there's nobody actually to match up with. Because if there was people interested in PvP, right, you would be easily matching up with them. But unfortunately, there's just not enough. And again, this is speaking from an international player, from the international server side. All right. Like, all this system is doing is pairing you up with other people who are looking for matches. If there's no other people looking for matches, yeah, the system's going to time out because there's nobody to match you up with. So it's not like their system is broke. Yeah, can it be better? Can it be more streamlined? Yeah, but if you don't have a strong enough player base interested in this stuff. Yeah, I'm not even showing my screen. I'm getting too much in the zone. But yeah, if you don't have a large enough player base for this falls apart. This falls apart. Right? Even like popular games, right? Where they kind of like the player base just like goes away. The system works. This works. All this is doing is like, hey, I'm looking for a game. This person's looking for a game. Let's pair them up. Right? It's a simple matchmaking system. Like there's, like, yeah, can it be better? Maybe the connection, the ping, whatever, the net code could be maybe a streamline. But they can have the best net code in the world. But if there's nobody to pair you up with, this doesn't work. And that's pretty evident with long wait times and trying to find fights. I know people complain. It's like, oh, there's nobody, the system sucks. It doesn't pair you up. Well, no, there's no people to pair you up with. I'm sorry, guys. That's the sad truth. PvP and Dofus, it sucks, and it's this throwaway thing. I give them props to that they're making an effort to make PvP a thing, and Abyss Joust #3, the biggest tournament of the year. Like, no, this isn't a big competitive thing. This is cool for a few handful of people. Awesome. Al Howen. Yeah, sure. Let's do it for the 7th time. Christmas. Yeah, let's do it for the 7th time. There's nothing new here. So fortunately, guys, the biggest thing that's haunting Dofus Touch is the lack of content updates. Unfortunately, that's going to get pushed even more. Like this whole year, we literally when was the last time we got a content update? It was Plantala. Plantala was our last content. That was our last one in December 2021. Literally almost 2 years without content of the game. Like I wish, they don't speak enough about like their player base. Of course, PR, they're gonna say, oh, everything's good, we have a good player base, stuff like that. But 2 years without any meaningful content. Again, like the whole Sealer revamp, the class revamp, it's nice, but the bread and butter is this stuff. The bread and butter is this. Give me some cool quests, give me some cool areas to explore, give me some cool monsters to beat, Give me some cool resources so I could craft some new stuff. One thing I'm really disliking is like they're throwing a lot of things into Ancestral Island. They just throw stuff into Ancestral Island for you to craft. Instead of crafting like cool narratives and quest lines around boss monsters, stuff like that, they just throw everything into Ancestral Island. So I don't know what's going on with Dofus Touch team. My hunch is like it's only like 3 guys working on Dofus Touch, and they're just getting overwhelmed with a lot of the stuff, which again, I explained, like they're not making any new art assets, right? This is strictly on design, on the game designers. This is not like artists, right? It's like, oh, the artists are behind. It's like we need 20 new buildings for this section. No, they're you know, they're just taking the PC Dofus stuff. But yeah, unfortunately, guys, I hate to sound like a negative Nelly, and I hate to sound like this is another video that's criticizing Ankama and their handling with Dofus Touch, but you know, this is a Dofus Touch channel. You know, I love the game, I love the developers, but you know, I'm criticizing with love. I'm hoping to hear this and pull a few good things out of it, you know, to make the game better, because the game is awesome. And I said before, like, there's no reason why Dofus, like this game, shouldn't be big in the West. This game's awesome. It's very unique. You know, the fact that it's a French game has nothing to do with it, right? There's plenty of big European games that are just huge. Obviously, Ubisoft is a big French developer. A lot of popular IPs come from Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed, to name one of them. You know, you got games like Cyberpunk, which is made by one of the... Where's Cyberpunk made of? I know it's like Swedish or something. Let me look that up really quick. So the fact that they're French and European, it doesn't really matter, because you know, other developers are having a good time, are having positive results. They're from Poland. Cyberpunk was made of a developer from Poland, right? So the fact that they're French, from France, or European, doesn't mean like their game shouldn't be that big in the West. I think the game has a lot of fundamental issues where like a lot of stuff that just doesn't click with the Western audience. But that stuff you could fix. You know, the game, especially the PC Dofus iteration of this, it's been around for close to 20 years now. Right? And it's still, after 20 years, it's still like this niche game nobody's ever heard of. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are. Again, this was meant to be a short video, but it looks like it's a 30-minute video now. But you know me, I like to talk about Dofus Touch, Wave, and stuff of that nature. But let me know about your guys' thoughts. Are you guys disappointed? Are you guys excited for the PvP stuff? Excited for the sellers? Like I said, I'm excited for this stuff, but like I said, the bread and butter and why I play Dofus is for the PvM content. So until next time, guys, this has been Challenger EX. Take care of yourself. Hit the like button. Subscribe. And peace.